Excuse me. Oh, I forgot to rename the stream. Whoopsie. More Faerie Britain time. No. More Avalon the Fae. Avalon La Lay Fae. There we go. Alright, so screen looks good. Does it sound good? It does indeed. So hello people of the internet. It is I, Solar Dragon, here back with more Fate Grand Order, where today we're going to continue Avalon the Fae, as is evident by the stream title, which I just updated. If you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to give it a like, and if you enjoyed, and be sure to tune in for all the rest of the Lostbelt coming day by day. Before we jump in, though, there is a new news post as of yesterday involving the app's release anniversary. So, June 25th, which was yesterday, marked the 6th anniversary officially of the NA version of Fate's Grand Order, rewarding everybody that logged in 30 St. Quartz. Woot. Woot, woot, woot. Woot. Look at that. That is a very nice little piece of art there. I like that Mashu. She looks adorable. I'm guessing that's Castoria there, and that looks like Abby. I like that. I like it a lot. But we're just going to go ahead and claim some things. The 6-year anniversary thing. Of course, there's going to be the proper 6-year anniversary later, but that's for the future. Quartz, friend points, tickets, footprint, quartz, and that's all for that. I really don't have anything else to say or do, so without further ado, let us jump into the next section of Avalon the Fae. Right, we're not actually doing the next section just yet. We're doing another fragment with Mash, who is 2,400 years in the past. Which is, gonna be interesting, to say the least. It's fragment number 6. There is no battles associated with this, so let's just get this party rolling. Throat hurts still a little bit. It's not like a full throat ache either, it's just sort of like one side of it. I've got a cough drop that I've been taking as well, just to soothe it, I guess. Fae Era 400. Back when Britain's Tree of Emptiness still stood intact and whole. Mash was enjoying a peaceful respite with Asik and Todorot at the forest camp. Though still bewildered by how simultaneously similar and different her surroundings were, she told her new companions everything she could about her experiences in Faerie Britain. So that's everything I know about the Isle of Britain and the land of the Fae. Does that help? Asik, is there something wrong with her? Don't be rude, Todorot. She isn't lying, she's telling us about the distant future. So in the future, this place is called Faerie Britain. A queen named Morgan unifies all the clans. And there's a figure known as the Child of Prophecy, as well as invaders from proper human history. Oh, I'm sorry, invaders is too strong a word. Forgive me, I'm still processing everything you've told me. No, it's okay, I can't blame you for thinking of us that way. Anyway, does this mean you believe me about coming here from the future, Asik? It's a lot to take in, but I can mostly tell you're being honest about it all. Part of me doesn't want to believe it, especially regarding the Child of Prophecy. You said she's the savior reborn? The next fairy destined to save Britain. If there's such a person in the future, that means... well, it means I'm gonna fail. Yeah, and there's no way Asik's gonna fail this time. She's gonna bring peace to Britain, you'll see. This Mirror Clan fairy doesn't know what she's talking about. You're right, Todorot. I do have to make sure I succeed this time. You'll help me, won't you? You bet I will. I'm always happy to help girls who are doing their best. You said your name's Mash, right? You've got bad luck showing up when you did. If you want my help, we're gonna have to wait until I've finished making Asik happy. That's fine, thank you, Todorot. I know I can count on you. Mash, if you don't have anywhere else to go, you can stay with us. But if you do, I'd like you to promise me one thing. If you want to return to your own time, you shouldn't say anything else about the future. Makes sense. Alright, is that because intervening in the past could end up changing the future? Something like that. I doubt anything you say or do here will have any effect on the era of the High Queen. But there could be fairies here in the Fae era, where the Tree of Emptiness is still intact, whose destinies end up warped. So nothing I do here will have any effect on the era of the High Queen. What do you mean by that? Hold it, Mash. That's getting into future again, right? Oh, right. Of course. I shouldn't even be talking about the era of the High Queen anymore, should I? That's right. I'm saying that's more to protect your destiny than ours. When you go back to your own time, you can't bring back any knowledge that would create a paradox. The larger the paradox, the larger the resulting gaps in your memory will be. You don't want to lose your precious memories, right? So it's better if you avoid discussing the future as much as possible. That being said, I really have to question this High Queen Morgan's judgment in handling the calamities by sending them back to the past. If you hadn't defeated the calamity of Norwich in the future, then we would have found that, giant hand thing you told us about on the beach instead of you, right? Talk about a close call. If it had been that thing we encountered, we might have lost the Knight of Londinium who'd finally just appeared. In that sense, you've helped us out more than I can possibly say, Mash. Thanks to you and the Soul Person saving us from that battle. Our own battle should go much more smoothly. And that's a battle you're fighting as the Savior of Britain, right? Is that the battle from the year 4000 on the Fae era, or the War of the Summer from Fae era 2000? What year is it right now? Huh? The War of Summer happened in Fae era 10,000. The only war that took place in the year 2000 was the Yar dispute between the Earth and the Wind clans back when Britain was a lot smaller than it is now. Wait, I think I understand. Those year numbers must be backwards. In the time of Mash is from, they probably count the Fae era years backward, starting from the first year of the era of the High Queen. It may keep things simpler if we just talk about past events in the terms of how many years ago they happened. The War of Summer took place 1600 years ago, which would make it Fae era 2000 from your perspective, Mash. It was a massive invasion perpetrated by Ireland, the Isle of Shadows. Oh? I don't think we've even seen Ireland. Wait, there's no wall of light around here now, is there? It was the second attempt by the northern fairies to invade Britain. They were led by Queen Mab, who worked her human army like slaves. That was a really close call, wasn't it, Todorat? It sure was. They almost killed every clan in Britain. I don't know what we would have done if it hadn't been for you and the Black Knight. Right, Black Knight? Oh, so this is the Black Knight. So the Black Knight is not Mash. Whew. True, Queen Mab was a very powerful fairy. It's not just because she had Albion's protection. She also had a primordial strength about her that the southern fairies simply don't possess. Isaac managed to buy us some time, but if she'd really wanted to wipe out the clans, there was nothing we could have done to stop her. But then, just as Mab was on the verge of victory, she proposed a truce out of nowhere. She then went on to occupy the vacant throne left behind by the Rain clan in Orkney, and became the lord of the entire northern region. I see. Thank you for filling me in. By the way, may I ask who that is? This is Sir Black Knight, my escort. He and I have known each other for a long time now, haven't we? Indeed, ever since we first became a public figure. Isaac and I have fought side by side for over 2,000 years now. I don't know how much more I can take, even with this undying body. Succeed or fail, I really hope this is your last attempt to save Britain. Don't worry, it's gonna work this time. All we have to do is make sure the coronation goes smoothly. I guess that's true. If this doesn't work, then nothing will. After 10,000 years of fighting, the clans have finally agreed to live peacefully under Britain's new king. Though I still find it hard to believe that a human of all people succeeded at unifying the 5 clans. Still, I suppose it makes sense, since fairies would never submit to another fairy's rule. If only we'd realized it sooner. Wait, hold on, did you just say Britain has a king? And a human, no less. That's right, Mab's still grumbling about it, though. Says she's a much better choice for Britain's king than some human. Well, you know how proud Mab can be, Todorat. And that's not even mentioning what happened with the War of Summer. But anyway, we're getting off track. Right now, Mash, we're in what you would call Fae Era 400. Which I guess means this High Queen Morgan will appear 400 years from now. I know I shouldn't think about it, but it's really hard not to. I know Uther is a human, so he only has 10 more years left at most. Ooh, Uther! Interesting. Because Uther Pendragon was... okay. I'm starting to piece some of this together. Does that mean his heirs will inherit the throne for a few generations until Morgan emerges to assume the throne in 400 years? Is that even possible? I guess you don't know either, huh, Asik? Still, at least it sounds like this new king is successful at keeping peace between the clans. After all, in the Faerie Britain I know, there is almost no inter-clan warfare whatsoever. Oh, I'm sorry. There I go again, talking about the future. That one was fine, Mash. It's still within the margin of error. Anyway, there's still peace in the future, That's good to hear. So, Mash doesn't know that the whole coronation fails. She wasn't with us. Up till now, Britain has been plagued for millennia with endless turf wars between the clans. See that fighting end with our generation would be absolutely wonderful. It's all thanks to us, Murian and the Wind Clan, and Uther's coalition army giving the Earth, Wind, Fang, and Mirror clans what for. Only draw was Mab of the King clan. But now that Mab's marrying Uther to unify the nations, the two of them together might just be invincible. Though I do feel just a bit bad for Mab, since Uther obviously loves you, Asik. Don't be silly, Todorat. Of course he doesn't. Besides, once I see Uther take the crown and accept the bone bell from the clans, I'm going back to paradise. And I think Uther and Mab make a great couple too. I'm sure the two of them rolling together will bring peace to Britain for the next 400 years. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still need to ensure the coronation in Londinium goes smoothly. Why aren't you using the cathedral in Salisbury for that, Asik? Isn't there far more history to be found there? Londinium may be an invincible fortress, but it still smells of blood. It's bound to attract Moors. If you ask me, Salisbury is still the safer choice. Maybe, but Salisbury is also closer to the pit. That place worries me more. No one in Britain knows what's at the bottom of the pit. No, the Faerie of Britain fear it too much to even go near it. I'm the only one who can investigate what's inside, but it's much too for me to do so alone. If only there was someone brave and strong with magical energy to match a fairy. Someone who wasn't from Britain, but was still willing to help. Then I could go investigate it right now. Asik, what is it? Of course, we do have someone like that now. Hooray! Change of plans, everyone. We're going to the pit right now. Mash and I are going to finally uncover the truth behind the greatest mystery in Britain. Into the pit. That's a little ominous. Though maybe that's how Mash gets back to the future, and maybe that's why Asik here seems to be reincarnated as Castoria. Section 14. This is actually a shorter section. Okay. I have the eve of the decisive battle, so this is a 5-arrow node. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's begin with a no-battle node. So Salisbury is our next destination. Tintangle's Bell Pilgrimage, which I've been hearing constantly for 16 years. Rings in the distance. Bell Pilgrimage. It's a crude, roughly hewn bell that looks nothing like the bell it's based on. It embodies the wish that the child prophecy will one day grow strong and set off on her journey. Tintangle is a coastal village located north of Cornwall. It's a small, insignificant place, both the High Queen and the clan had tend to forget it exists. Castor, I brought you a new book. It's about etiquette for upper-class fairies. You should study it now, so you'll be ready when you leave for the castle one day. Let's see, do you mind if I put the table here? By the way, have your Fae markings grown yet? You'll be 16 years old in only 2 more years, you know. I'm getting a little worried. Your journey is going to be hard enough as it is. I see you're working hard again, Castor. You're so diligent, dedicated, and innocent. You play just as hard as you study, and you always find whatever it is the village needs at any given moment. The other fairies could learn a thing or two from you. Just seeing you in action fills us with hope. Still, I'm afraid it's going to be difficult to pay this year's tax. Thankfully, we should be able to squeak by thanks to all of your help. But at this rate, a more Tintangle may cease to exist by the time you turn 16. What are we going to do? Why must you be so very weak? I swear, none of these fairies have any tact. I guess that's what happens when you live past your prime. Well, there's nothing wrong with saying when you don't have something like... when you don't like something. In fact, you should say so. Don't you agree, Castor? I mean, you don't want anyone treating you differently just because you're the child of prophecy either, right? Come on, let's do something fun. The Illiter's not going to mind if you hang out for just a little while. Did you hear there's a merchant caravan coming this way from the East Road? Maybe we can get musical instruments from Gloucester. If they have any, I'm sure they'd sell to you. I mean, you're the child of prophecy. Oh, have you been growing? One of the older fairies was saying you grow and change over time, unlike the rest of us. It's so weird to think about, but I guess it's better that way. With the magical energy you have now, you couldn't even survive against a single black dog. So hurry up and grow as much as you can, okay? Until then, we'll keep you safe. She was, coddled, it seems. Everyone had such high hopes for me. It was a tiny village with no future, but they all believed in me, even though I didn't deserve it. The sound of Tintangle's bell haunts her. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm so weak. I'm sorry I couldn't be stronger. As Tintangle burned, I'm sorry I couldn't protect our village. Who's wrong? What's wrong with this village? I told them it was futile to fight back, yet they still tried to resist. Did they all go crazy? Forget the Tintangle fairies. Find the Child of Prophecy. We've embarrassed ourselves enough as it is. If we let her escape now, I'll never be able to face her High Queen Morgan. His voice was like thunder. It was the first time I'd heard a truly powerful fairy roar with anger. I was too scared to even try to fight back. All I could do was run away by myself, crying. I'm sorry, Grandpa. I wish I could have stayed there with you. Grandpa was a blacksmith, which is why she calls Muramasa Gramps. You know why she's so interested in smithing? It only took half a day to make it to Salisbury. This new carriage is much easier to pull. And now that we're fighting against the Queen, I have no intention of obeying the speed limit anymore. At this pace, we can make it back to Londinium before sunset. What would you like to do? I think I might need a little break. Seconded. I need to get out before my poor back and butt shatter completely. I could use a breather too. I think I might be getting a little motion sick. Then why don't we rest up at Mike's restaurant? I've been wanting to talk to him about something anyway. How about you, Percival? I'm going to continue on to Londinium. I'm sure the Child of Prophecy will be welcome in Salisbury, but I don't think the same can be said for Commander of the Round Table Army. What are you talking about, Percival? There's a resistance movement in Salisbury too, right? Why don't you just work together? It's not that simple. The Round Table Army and the Salisbury Rebel Army are different organizations. They may be similar, but their goals aren't quite the same. Especially since Aurora is still publicly presenting herself as being at the Queen's side. If she did anything to hint that she's sympathetic to the Round Table Army, she'd be squished like a bug. Clan head or not. Guess that's true, yeah, but in a kind of a bad luck to just be sitting on the sidelines at this point. Not at all, Lord Muramasa. I wouldn't expect Lady Aurora to choose anything else. Anyway, Country's telling me she has plenty of energy, so I'm going to go on ahead to Londinium. Bye, Percy. Cheering! O beloved Child of Prophecy, O valiant Child of Prophecy, courageous savior of Norwich, equal to the Queen of Camelot. She's gonna rebuild Londinium and defeat the Tamlin. You're a star, Arthur, you're a star! Well, I'd just as soon as not be if it means having pancakes with my face drawn on them. The worst part is, they're prettier than I am. I swear, what is it about the Wind Clan fairies that makes them so good at getting under your skin? Dumbinchi, you're finally back. Where were you? You said you were only going to be gone a little while, but it's been over 2 weeks. Oh, but never mind that. The important thing is, you're back. I've got so many things I want to show you. I made a whole new menu. I've been getting along better with Wind Clan fairies. And I'm even hanging out with humans now. It's been real busy, but I'm having so much fun. Hey Mike, sorry for making you worry. Still, don't you think you might be trying a few too many new things at once? You're the kind of fairy who concentrates best when you're on your own, so I think you'd be better off sticking to one thing at a time. You think? Well, maybe you're right, but one's just not enough anymore. After all the amazing things you taught me, Dunbinchi, everything else just pales in comparison. Sheesh, how can I scold you after a compliment like that? Sorry, Sil, but I need to stop by the kitchen to taste test Mike's new recipes. I just hope he hasn't used any overly strange seasonings this time. This time. By all means, take your time. We'll just be resting up in the back. I see if Da Vinci's got a friend. A little more of an apprentice, really. She said she's got to know him while she was wandering around on her own. It at least means we can continue to come and go as we please. That does make it perfect for having a secret meetings here at the quiet little back table. Oh, Baron? Yeah, I've got something serious to discuss. I know you all kept quiet about this after we left the Welsh Woods, and I appreciate your consideration. But time is not on our side. Woodwose' army still has Londinium surrounded, if we're gonna defeat them. Yeah. I'm gonna need a katana. would you make me one, Muramasa? I'm a grown man. I can't keep fighting with a tree branch forever. Your katanas are so cool. Do you think it'd be okay if I wore one on my waist, too? Are you nuts? You don't carry a katana for looks. Besides, isn't iron dangerous for fairies? Or would it just be for show? I'd never actually use something that dangerous. That's worse, you dumbass. I'm not gonna help you be a damn samurai cosplayer. The most you're getting out of me is a bamboo sword. Oh, Bron. It's good to see you, Bron, feeling better again, isn't it, Soul? It sounds like a joke. He's really serious about the katana idea. How could you do this to me, Muramasa? You're even stingier than I thought. Did you forget how you only beat Burgess with my help? That's got nothing to do with this. I can't give you a katana when you don't even know how to use one. I gotta admit, you're pretty good in that fight, though. You said you weren't much good in a fight earlier. Were you just being modest? Well, yes and no. I don't like pain, and my abilities make me much better at serving in a support role. True. Plus, I didn't really want to draw attention from the Child of Prophecy. If she had thought our companions were more capable than she was, Arturi would have probably slunk back into Tintangle long ago. So I decided to avoid the limelight until she started feeling a bit more confident. Good point. I probably would have just gone back to Tintangle if you had, yeah. See? At any rate, that was my one foray into combat. I wasn't myself back there. Foreign mage is supposed to guide the Child of Prophecy, not me. I'm not going to overstep my bounds anymore. From here on, this battle is for the two of you to fight. Besides, now that the Welsh forest has been burned down, my part in all this probably is just about over. Oh, Bron. Guys, Mike just told me some big news. What's with all the long faces? Did you already hear about it from a patron or something? No, we haven't heard anything. What's this all about, Da Vinci? Well, some of the refugees from Norwich who escaped Salisbury headed off to Londinium this morning to join the Round Table Army. Hey, because we defeated Gawain. Yep, apparently news of her defeat has already made it across Britain. I have an idea or two about who might have gone around spreading that rumor, but never mind that for now. The important thing is that people are starting to really put their faith in the Child of Prophecy now. The enemy thinks the Round Table Army is just going to stay holed up in Londinium, but if we can muster enough fighters to go on the offensive, we can defeat Woodwoes before the Queen sends reinforcements. Exactly, though only if we keep getting more fighters from across the country. And if we're going to make that happen, we've got only one option. Can you do this for us, Oberon? Of course, besides, you guys have already met the criteria or laid out. All that's left now is for her to hold up her end of the deal. So let's go get your reward for saving Norwich. Another bell shall toll. Hopefully, Castoria doesn't lose herself. Formation restricted, it does look like we are up against at least an alter ego. In this quest, the battle you fight will depend on the choices you make during the scenario. You'll form your party immediately before the battle begins. Okay. So I'm going to have to pay attention to my choices here. Here we go. Second bell tolls. Didn't have any problems with letting us ring the bell. Nice. I was just reciting poetry when I heard the bell ring all the way outside town too, as crisp and clear as a crunchy carrot. So I can't help but worry about how Lady Aurora will keep her position after this. Apparently she plans to tell the Queen that we broke in and rang it while she was away. We'll just have to trust that her rich diplomatic skills will be enough to carry her through such an obvious lie. So if the Queen does start treating her as an enemy, as long as she can maintain plausible deniability until we defeat Woodwoes' army, we can then send the Round Table Army troops out to Salisbury to keep her safe in case the Queen's army shows up. Great point, and besides all that, our target's rung 2 bells now. Even I can tell that her aura is incredible. Everything from her strength to her power to her destructive force has increased like 1,000,000,000 times over. You know I'm the strongest fairy ever now. Not even Bargus could stand a chance against me. Man, I can't believe you actually said that. I was so impressed. You think? I don't remember saying anything like that, but you really think so? What do you think, Soul? Oberon? Can I take Baggy on one-on-one now? Not likely. You're probably just a bit stronger than Tristan now, but Bargus is tough even without her gifted name. She's at least 10 times the strength and skill you do. So taking her on alone would be suicide. Alright, of course, it's not like I was any better than it trash to begin with after all. That's being way too hard on yourself. Soul's right, your magical circuit's right. Fairies are called Fae markings, aren't they? Anyway, no matter what you call them, you clearly have more of them now. For example, both humans and fairies alike are born with a set number of nerves. But in your case, instead of getting stronger through training like most people, you've gotten stronger because of an increase in number of your nerves you have. It's completely unprecedented and it makes you very, very special. That said, it also raises other questions. I've heard there are two kinds of fairies here. The kind whose appearance never changes from the time they're born, and the kind whose appearance changes at every stage of their life. By this point, I'm pretty sure you're the latter type. There still aren't many past examples of fairies' abilities growing this much. Though, there have of course been cases where loss of purpose or shine has led to a fairy losing magical energy. So how do you feel about these developments, Arturia? I wish I knew the answer to that myself. Well, maybe it's just because I'm the Child of Prophecy. I need some sort of edge if I'm going to fulfill my calling. That does make sense. If a mediocre fairy like you is going to defeat a genius like Morgan, you pretty much have to cheat to stand a chance. What about you then, Oberon? How good a fighter are you anyway? I didn't have a chance to see you in the forest, so why don't you show me what you can do, what you can really do? I already said I'm not going to fight anymore, remember? Besides, who would I even fight? Okay, Muramasa, you're with me. Gareth, you're also with me. Red Rabbit, you're with me too. Da Vinci, you're with me. And Soul, you're of course with me too. Okay, we have our teams. Let's go, Bran. I'm going to kick your scrawny ass all up and down this field. Fine then, you'll take my side, right, Soul? Do I want a hard fight or an easy fight? Sorry about this, Oberon. I'm sorry, man. I want the easier fight. I don't even just plan a party. Oh, I guess I am on his side, no matter what. I see. He's a caster now. Thought he was Archer. This isn't too good. This really isn't good. Oh, we are on the other side, but we're also... Okay, that's ironic. Okay. I keep forgetting that Oberon gives him invincibility. So you have to do the opposite order of attack. Keep forgetting about that. Yeah, this isn't going to turn out too nicely. I hope I don't actually have to win this. Did I actually have to win? No, I did not. Whew! Lucky! I didn't actually have to win that one. Oh, in with Aurora. Salisbury's bell has been rung. Now I cannot yet declare this publicly, but as the head of the Wind Clan, I have accepted the Child of Prophecy as the rightful savior of Britain. Once she has rung all 6 bells, the Wind Clan should make our objections known to the Queen. Unfortunately, this also means that the horrors of war will one day reach Salisbury as well. Will you all accept my decision, even if it should bring trouble to our doorstep? Of course, Lady Aurora, you needn't even ask. We cannot trust Queen Morgan with Faerie Britain. We have all been eagerly awaiting this day for a long time now. I would expect no less from the guards at Salisbury. Your loyalty pleases me. The Child of Prophecy has returned to Londinium. Our battle with Woodwoes begins shortly. Things will start to change very quickly all across the land when she has rung Oxford's bell as well. Be sure to set your formation so that you're ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Excuse me, Lady Coral. Our formations are already set. We can leave for Londinium at any time. Shouldn't we go help them fight Woodwoes to show how strong Salisbury truly is? Watch your tongue, this is not your choice to make. Listen to me closely. The Fang Clan have long been proud guardians of Britain. The Wind Clan will never do battle with them. Our enemies are Morgan the Witch, the Earth Clan for the transgressions they have committed, the Queen's supporters in Camelot who gorge themselves on peace, and the humans of the Anti-Faerie organization who don't know their place. Lady Aurora will not lead us into battle until Camelot is well and truly on the back foot. I will not tolerate anyone carelessly putting our fair city in danger. Salisbury will remain neutral until the time is right. Forget about the humans of Londinium. So, is that so Salisbury won't be punished if the Child Prophecy should happen to lose? That's what I said. I trust there are no objections. Understood. We will not open Salisbury's gates to anyone, even refugees from Londinium. Really? I don't see the harm in that, Coral. Lady Aurora? It may be dangerous for us to take in soldiers from the Grand Table Army, yes. But civilians from Londinium who took no part in the battle would merely be refugees. It would be improper for me, as the head of the clan, to simply turn people aside with nowhere else to go. Besides, if we simply leave the weak to their fates, on what grounds can we object to Queen Morgan's rule? But if we take in refugees, we'll have to fight the Queen before the Child Prophecy can complete your pilgrimage. It's okay, Coral. It won't be a problem. You saw Artoria for yourself, right? She's strong enough to keep Londinium safe. Plus, she has Oberon and Sol with her as well. That said, if the Round Table Army were somehow to fall in spite of all of that, then the time for us to remain on the sidelines will have ended. For we will be honor-bound to protect the lives and freedoms of any fairies and humans who come from Londinium seeking refuge. Oh, that's so generous of you, Lady Aurora. You refuse to put us in danger by helping Londinium, yet you're still willing to help its people even though they've tried so pointlessly to assert their independence. You truly are a perfect queen, Lady Aurora. You're the one who can bridge the gap between the fairies and humans. That does not sound like perfect queen talk. We, the Liberation Army, vow to keep you and your city safe even if it should cost us our lives. What are these inferior creatures saying? There's no possible way you can protect Salisbury or Lady Aurora by yourselves. That's no use. How you knew humans were worthless. All I can do now is hope the Child Prophecy succeeds. I hope she's able to ring all the bells of pilgrimage before it comes time to fight the Queen. I'm sure she will. Yeah, that's not really a... Aurora is definitely, acting a bit sus. Alright, Eve of the Decisive Battle, the third arrow. Looks like, at the very least... Okay, so we got Berserker, Caster, Saber, and Castoria is strong. Excuse me, Castoria be very strong. Strong enough that I think she's gonna be the one we take in. Actually, no, I have Castoria. But this Castoria is stronger than my Castoria. So it's gonna be Muramasa and... Yeah. I gotta go like this. Yeah, let's go with this party. It's not the story Castoria, it's my Castoria, but it's fine. It's fine. I swear it's fine. Oh, just jumping right into the battle. And then a little bit of a do-do-do. hit here, I fear. But everybody should be fine to tank this. Let's do a little bit of this. Let's see if we can't crit through the remaining. Kind of doubtful, but you never know. Not gonna happen. Not a single crit. Nice. Oh, but we called the evasion perfectly. Nicely done, me. Pat myself on the back. I think we go ahead and do a bit of a Da Vinci here. Oh boy. Well, we should actually be more than fine here. We could do something like... So... Leveling? What do you think this is? You're not allowed to level up. But Da Vinci can finish this. But let's see how high we can get. We can get it double up. I like that. We'll see if Da Vinci can pull off a 300%. Muramasa, do not delete this fool. Leave something for the chew. Not really, but you know what I mean. Oh no, Muramasa did it. Okay. That wasn't too bad. I do think I need to... I want to start using the storycast story, but I also don't. Just because I have my own, so when... You know what I... It's hard to describe. Things have changed so much in the 2 days we were away. Yeah, the background totally looks different. Is it just me, or are there way more people here now than before? It's not just you. There have been people pouring in from East and South Gates since this morning. And it's all because your guys have beaten a damn Lin. Can't believe the news when I heard it either. I'm glad you're all back safe and sound. I wasn't worried you wouldn't make it, but it's still good to see you're well. Well, thanks for coming in to greet us, everybody. No problem. I like that you're so polite. Percival, are all these new fairies and humans here because... That's right, they're all from Norwich. Some want to join the army, others just want to live here. Even this is only about half of everyone who showed up. There were so many we had to let the rest stay at Norwich for the time being. That's right, I managed to sneak some inside Linedium under the cover of night yesterday. Well, that won't work again. Now that Woodwose is sending up patrols, the rest will have to come once this battle's over, right? Pepe, you're here too. Of course, hon. Almost done for the final battle, isn't it? So I thought, well, I'd just sit around in Norwich waiting for a report when I could come see the action for myself. It's good to have you here, Pepe. Oh, no, you shouldn't go thanking me just yet.
I have my own goals, after all. I'm just using you as bait here. Once the fighting begins in earnest, you're staying in Londinium until it's over, right? And if Beryl knows where his target is, he's bound to turn up sooner or later. For some reason, I can just tell when and where he'll try to strike. He loves going after his victims when their guard is down right after they've won a hard battle.
So you both cut from the same dirty cloth, huh? Well, as long as this gets out of our hair, you won't hear me complaining. But don't go taking any serious risks, alright? If you die now, we're gonna have to go through the rigmarole of unifying Norwich again.
Oh my, you're worried about me, Muramasi? That makes coming to Britain all the more worthwhile.
Don't be an idiot. Since I'm the Child of Prophecy's bodyguard right now, I'd rather just be dealing with you than Spriggan.
Sure thing, hon. Whatever you say. Alright, since I'm technically affiliated with Chaldea, maybe it's time I got down to serious business. Percival, Artoria, Sol, Da Vinci. Would you come to the war room with me? I have a proposal for what comes after the prophecy.
After the prophecy, huh? Interesting, Pepe. You have my attention.
Let me get down to the point. This Lostbelt isn't like the others. It's not going to go away even with its Tree of Emptiness destroyed. It was never part of human history long enough to be pruned away from it in the first place. Rather, this world is just as strong as proper human history. A new human history, not an empty one. Ironic that fantastical creatures like fairies became their own human history, isn't it?
Certain this place isn't a Lostbelt, but a lost world, huh? I can buy that. Britain's Tree of Emptiness may have burned down during the attack on Olympus, but it had long since stopped functioning. I think this Lostbelt escaped the Tree of Emptiness's cosmic fantasy about 2019 years ago. The first year of the era of the High Queen, when Morgan began ruling Britain. It's not the empty Tree of Emptiness keeping this Lostbelt going, it's Morgan herself. But that also means that once we defeat her, this Lostbelt will go back to the way it was. And that should mean it'll eventually be pruned away, just like the others.
That's true at least for Britain, but not for its residents. And the other Lostbelts, the fates of the people who lived there were inextricably tied to their surroundings. That's not the case for this Lostbelt. If nothing else, we can be sure the fairies who were born during the era of the High Queen won't disappear even if they leave this Lostbelt. It makes sense, really, since this world is just as strong as proper human history. That's the difference I'm trying to point out.
So this is like Shimosa, in a way. Shimosa was a lost world, not a Lostbelt. So they can immigrate, huh?
That's right, humans were born in the land of fairy can only live here. But if they wanted to, the fairies of this land could immigrate to proper human history. Now do you get it? There's a possible future where you can all live together in peace and harmony.
Hey! So... what's that all mean, Da Vinci? It means that even if defeating Morgan results in this Lostbelt disappearing, you could still survive if you came with us to the outside world. At least once we figure out how to get past the Wall of Light.
Yep, you could either disappear with this place or start a new life in proper human history. The choice is yours, Artoria. In fact, you could abandon this whole Child of Prophecy thing and just leave right now. There's a whole other life waiting for you on Chaldea Storm Border if you want it.
I'm kind of amazed you said that, Pepe, especially with Percival standing right here.
Oh, I wouldn't have said it at all if Percy hadn't been here. I've already told him about proper human history, the Lostbelts, Chaldea, and the Tree of Emptiness. That's why I just told you, Sol, and Artoria about this as well. I wanted to get this all out in the open so there'd be no hard feelings. Pretty fair of me, right?
How do you feel about all this, Percy? Well, I don't know nearly as much as the rest of you, so this may be pretty simplistic. But if Artoria wants to stop being the Child of Prophecy, that's entirely her choice. Really? Even though you went through all the trouble of creating the Round Table Army? Really, I chose to build the Round Table Army on my own. Nobody forced me to do it, and I don't intend to force just anyone else to join. Besides, I really don't deserve to be their commander, not after some of the things I've done. So please believe me when I say you don't need to give up what you want for us. Besides, now we know we can still help the fairies of Britain escape to the outside world, even without defeating the Queen. Isn't it just knowing that's an option a big step forward for Faerie Britain? So I'm pretty sure the Wall of Light is Rongo Miniad. And, again, earlier theory, the whole Lost World, as this is, will be stored inside Rongo. That's my prediction. Well, yeah, I guess so. But, I still think that's good enough. Morgan will never just sit back and let everyone walk away. If we're really gonna save the fairies of Britain, there's no getting around the fact that we'll have to defeat Morgan and Faye. Where'd the Fae come from? I am pretty sure that means the fairy in the Legend of the King Arthur. The Fae part changed over time to Fae in modern-day English, although I haven't seen a single other fairy called Morgan that since I've been here.
I see, so you still want to defeat Queen Morgan, just like the prophecy said, huh, Artoria?
Once again, precedence. Lead over is affecting Castoria.
Looks like I'm with you to the bitter end, then. If as a crypto I'm gonna settle things with Beryl, then I guess the soul's nosy senpai have a right to interfere in your affairs too.
Excuse me.
Okay, that's enough serious talk for now, and while I trust this goes without saying for the record, if Artoria plans to continue on her path as the Child of Prophecy, we'd best keep this conversation between ourselves. Wouldn't be very good for morale if the rebels found out they could just escape the world itself, would it?
No, it would not. It would not indeed. Another no battle node. We're getting all this eve of the decisive battle. I'm imagining we're gonna get the actual decisive battle itself as the next chapter. Okay, let's discuss the matters as they stand. We may have more soldiers to work with thanks to the volunteers from Norwich, but we can't deploy them right away. They will likely need more training and will take time to establish lines of communication and integrate them into our existing forces. Well, it'd be foolhardy to send out over 100 new troops into combat without any practical training. So that mean we're going to focus on defense while we train the new troops instead of making a surprise attack on Woodwose' army? That would be the safest option if we had the time to take it. Once the Queen sends Woodwose reinforcements, it'll be much more difficult to hold Londinium's line of defense. So instead we're going to pretend to focus on defense while a small squad of elite soldiers from my company, along with the Toil and Kenwood's platoons, take a day to sneak around behind enemy forces. Once they're ready, I'll send out my company, along with the volunteer soldiers from Londinium, to pad their numbers. Then, while the enemy is focused on Londinium, our unit will ambush Woodwose himself and take him out. Once their clan head has fallen, the other fairies should lose their sense of purpose. It's one of the weaknesses shared by all clan-affiliated fairies. I'm not a huge fan of this strategy, but exploiting that weakness is our best move. Then does it mean we're going to settle this tomorrow night? That's right. Our assault will set out from Londinium before dawn. As for all of you, I'd like you to stay here and protect the castle walls, just in case. Sure, if that's what you want, Percy. Okay, you got it. I think I can be a help defending Londinium. You obviously know what you're doing when it comes to skirmishing on the level ground. So just leave things here to us, and we'll focus on winning, and then you focus on winning your fight. I will. Thank you, Lady Da Vinci. I swear on the sacred spear that I won't come back without defeating Woodwose. 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 Meow. Wah. Dun. Is that Oberon? Surprised? I might be half-wit with a perpetual princely smile plastered across his face, but even I fly into a rage if you burn down to my domain. But Oberon doesn't play fair. The trap he planted in the woods makes a mess to Barghest's shin. Habitrot, why are you on a desk with a Quillo pen? Oh, it's you, Soul. I'm just writing in my diary. I have a atrocious memory, so I always write these days' events as entertainingly as possible. What about you? Why did you come to the Warp Ring when nobody else is around? Did you feel so guilty by the festivities going on in the town plaza? You thought you could escape up here. You can tell. You're worried about Mash, right? I get it. It's easy not to think about her during a battle, but at times like these, you can't help it. I know I keep saying this, but you and Mash will see each other again. I guarantee it. So, I do think this is the same Fairy Knight Todorot, especially with that line that she just said about having trouble remembering things, because Asik also mentioned how there would be memory problems the more about the future is spoken of. So, yeah. So this is the same habitat, which explains why she was so friendly with Mash when she first met. It must have been a case of she read so much about Mash from her own memories back when she was traveling with Asik that actually seeing her again was a turnover. Maybe return some memories or something like that, perhaps? Don't really know. I can't tell you where she is now or how she's doing, but I can tell you she's with someone trustworthy, a heroic spirit from proper human history who you've both met before. All you have to do is help Artoria. That's the quickest way you'll be reunited with Mash. I thought she had taken Mash prisoner. Looks like no one else is listening right now, so I guess I can tell you this much. Yeah, Morgan teleported Mash, but if she sent her somewhere not even Morgan herself can touch her. Morgan can't capture anyone. All she ever does is send them off somewhere else. But that's nothing an outsider like you needs to worry about. All you guys have to do is defeat her. As for me, all I care about is my bride, and helping you all is part of helping her. After all, you can't have a happy bride without a handsome groom, right? So I can't have you dying on me, for both my and Mash's sakes. Because my dream is to see off 100 happy brides. What number is Mash? Mash makes 1. I don't know about the habitat from proper human history, but my dream started with Mash. If you know any servants who are worried about planning their wedding, you'd be doing them a favor by introducing me to them. I can tailor any dress no matter how impossible it seems. Man, woman, human, monster, whatever they are, if they dream of bringing a bride, I'll be there to help. We should have her and you, Senpai, meet up. I'm sure you, Senpai, would appreciate that as a gift. You know, a proper wedding dress with Shangyu. I think that would get us on your good graces. There she is. Hey there you are. The really energetic fairy. Are you talking to me? Do you not know my name's Gareth? Gareth, huh? What a great name. It's nice and short. It also is really courageous sounding. Thanks, but it's actually just the name I'm going by. Nobody actually gave it to me. Oh? Interesting. Very interesting. So what is Gareth's true name in this Lostbelt? Anyway, you're probably here to see Artoria, right? It must have been too hard for a kid to break through the throng of soldiers that was surrounding her in the town square earlier, huh? Wait there. I'll go get her. Nah, we don't want to see her. The Shadow Prophecy's already got the grown-ups. We just want to talk to you. Me? But why would you want to? Just come with me, okay? Everyone's waiting for you. Don't tug on my sleeve. I'll go with you, okay? She's here. Sim brought the charging lady back with her. Oh, so many human kids. They must be seeking refuge. Huh? This is the castle smithy, right? Yep. We're helping out Granny, because there aren't enough grown-ups to go around. Hey, Nan, I brought her. Come on, do the thing. Ah, yes, I know. Would you mind coming here, young lady? The children asked me to make you a set of armor. I tried to tell them no, but they weren't having it. Armor? For me? Is that a mithril shield? Now the new Queen's Knights get to use these. What were you thinking? I can't accept something so valuable. You should be giving this to Artoria. Someone as worthless as me doesn't deserve... Worthless? That's not nice. You don't believe what these children saw in you? They're all abandoned by Norwich, but they scraped together everything they had to buy the materials for me to make this for you. They know you're not Percival, or the Child of Prophecy. They were entranced by the sight of your tiny form fighting valiantly on the battlefield. Well, do you still insist you're worthless? I don't even know what kind of fairy I am. I'm just a weird stray. So what does it matter? Fairies are fairies, right? Who cares what you were born with, or what your role's supposed to be? You protected Londinium for us. The first time you came here, you stood up for Yuri, when she was crying because she tripped and spilled the fruit in her basket. You saved Samira when she went out to look for food, and almost got captured by Woodwose' soldiers. Humans who were changed to be kids, like us, have no way of helping out in battle. We only have around 6 months left to live. Nobody ever protected us. But you didn't care about any of that. You still fought as hard as you could to help us. That's why we wanted to thank you. Go on, Samaria. Here you go, Miss Knight. Thank you for saving us all those times. You're always charging headlong into danger, right? We've been worried about you this whole time. That's why we asked Nan to make you this armor, so you wouldn't get hurt anymore. Aw. You want me to wear it so I don't get hurt, even though you guys are all covered in bruises? You see, the children don't care about what kind of fairy you are. I wasn't much use to anyone in Norwich either, so I ended up here while looking for a place to die. Once I had something to do again, it was like I never left the forge. I used to think our purpose was something we were born with. But the truth is, having people depend on you or helping those around you can help you become a new person, the person you need to be. Makes sense. There you are, Gareth. Shall we get started with your training? Today I want to work on polishing your charge attack and the speed that gets into it. You've got good instincts, so you should be able to tell your opponent is going to do before. Gareth, is something wrong? You don't look very happy. Oh no, I'm fine. It's nothing. That's right. It was nothing. What I wanted wasn't something to save Britain or anything so grand as that. It was really nothing. The kind of ordinary thing anyone could do. I see. So those are tears of happiness. I'm glad you found people who you care about and who care about you. Shall we give the training a pass then, since it's such an important day? No way. I'm going to train twice as hard now. I still have a lot of fighting left to do. I'm a Knight of Londinium, after all. Knight of Londinium, huh? What a thing to say. You'll never fail to surprise. Don't go laugh at me just because you're stronger than I am. It's rude. I'm serious about this. Alright, I'm sorry. I guess you wouldn't know about this. See, the Knights of Londinium was actually a specific person back in the Fae era. He was a human king known as the last knight who fought the fairy clans and won. He was Aesic the Savior's lover. So that got a little bit twisted in time as well. Interesting. My gosh, I'm sorry, I had no idea. I guess I was the one being rude. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being the Knight of Londinium. It's a lot better than the Round Table Army. And for what it's worth, I think it suits you better too. After all, you really are trying to protect Londinium. I didn't say anything back then because I could tell it wasn't a good time. But you never did tell Arturi and Sol what happened when you fought Lancelot in the Welsh woods, did you? Back then. Oh. Read her next move, but I'm too slow to guard against it. She's just too fast for human eyes to follow. I'm surprised your arm's still attached. You've grown, if only a little. It doesn't matter, though. You could never hope to catch up to me. My physical capabilities, my magical energy levels, my time. I surpass you in every way, so come on. Just give up already. I guess it's too much to ask, though. You could never listen, even when you were a child. There's no point in me saying this, but I'll say it anyway. Don't use that spear, Percival. It's too much for a human to handle. So, Lancelot knew Percival as a child. This is just a hunch, but do you happen to know Lancelot from somewhere, Percival? Oh! That was a very brief scene. Yes, Lancelot and I were actually students at the same place. We trained together for a few years, but that's all. I'm sorry for making you worry over nothing. Now I'm just Percival, commander of the Round Table Army. Lancelot and I are enemies now. We have nothing to say to each other and no intention of holding back. Don't worry, the next time we fight, I'll beat her. Especially since I'm sure you and all the others will be there to help me too. That's a death flag for Percy. We heard all about Enid in Norwich. Not even Morgan could defeat a Moor the size of a castle. Thank you, but I can't take all the credit for that. I could never have done it without the foreign mage and the Knight of Sheffield and everyone else who helped us. That last battle we fought was incredible. My body felt light as a feather, but my sword hit harder than ever. Magecraft like yours, Lady Artoria, we have nothing to fear from a coward like Woodrose. Thank you, but I'm afraid my magecraft doesn't last very long, so please don't go too far from us. And if you ever start to feel tired, please retreat immediately. Could you tell us what happened in Gloucester Child of Prophecy? Is it true that you gave Tristan both a verbal beatdown and a physical one? She's killed countless fairies for no reason, and nobody's been able to stand up to her since she's the Queen's daughter. Every fairy in Britain has been waiting for her to finally get what's coming to her. Now that you've beaten Barghest, I hope you can defeat that horrible Tamlin next. Yes, if I get the chance, I certainly will. Besides, I'll need to face all the Tamlin sooner or later. So when the time comes to fight Queen Morgan's daughter, I'll make sure that she faces justice for everything she's done. Sounds amazing. I can't wait. You really are the undefeated king, the savior of the battlefield. 3 cheers for the Child of Prophecy. 3 cheers for Lady Artoria. Hope this fame doesn't get to her head. In fact, they're also nice, makes this twice as tiring as usual. I haven't had to do this stuff since Tintangle. I'd forgotten how hard it is. I hope I did okay. I hope they didn't realize I actually have no idea what I'm doing. Don't worry, none of them had a clue. That was some great acting. Well, I should have known the Child of Prophecy would know how to work a crowd. Is this how you handle them back in your hometown, too? I wouldn't say that. Yikes, you must have it even worse than I thought. Usually be biting my head off for that remark. What's going on? Something got you so down you can't even snap at me? Now you're being all considerate, Muramasa. Feels even worse than you're teasing. That's so. Well, don't let me interrupt your pity party. Clearly no reason to worry about you. I'm sorry, I was just kidding. Honestly, I know you really are concerned about me. And sorry for making you worry, but I do really appreciate it. Now, what I'm worried about is the battle for tomorrow. How are we supposed to win if our leader's staring at her feet all glum instead of watching the enemy? Oh, I see. Well, that's too bad. But really, you don't have to worry about me. I'm just a little tired from all the fighting we've been doing lately. Plus, all these Round Table Army people are just a lot more excited about this than I am. I mean, they still have their own important reasons for being here. Some want to fight for fairy and human freedom, some want revenge on the Queen, some want a better tomorrow. Those are all great reasons, but they're so serious it's hard for me to keep up. I mean, I'm only here because I'm the Child of Prophecy. Sure, I like to fight, and I'm good at it, but it's embarrassing to be put on such a high pedestal. You're good at it. Nonsense. There's no way anyone who actually likes fighting would have something to say to that. Even Soul wanting a holy grail was a damn better sight than that. You saw what it was I wanted, Muramasa. Of all the things you could have desired, that was all you wanted? So what if you're the Child of Prophecy? What was it she wanted? If you want to act how you think everyone expects, fine. But if nobody is going to say this, I will. Artoria, you're not cut out for fighting. But if I quit, I'd be letting everyone down, right? So it's okay. I'll be fine. I know I'm in over my head, and I still have no confidence in my ability to actually pull this off, but I'm sure I can at least figure out how to ring the bells of pilgrimage, so I'm going to keep doing my best to be a good Child of Prophecy. Okay, that takes care of my report to the border. What are you doing up this late, Soul? Everyone besides the lookouts is sleeping now. I was just about to turn in too. Well, if you're having trouble sleeping, do you want to talk about whatever's on your mind? What do you think about Peve saying humans not being able to migrate outside of the Lostbelt? Oh, that. Okay, I guess it was bound to come up eventually. When Pepperoncino said the humans born here can only lie here, I think what he really means to say was, humans who are made in Faerie Britain can't survive outside of it. You see a lot of different sides of the land of the fairy by now. Well, one of them is the prisons they call human ranches. You do know what's really going on at those places, right? So they're actually assembling humans. Right. The large facility Artorian told us not to look at was a giant human manufacturing plant. At first I thought they were being made just like homunculi. I realized I've also been studying the humans here. That isn't the case. Every human here is a clone made from rearranging the DNA of one human. Even though they started out with only one human for the base material, they were able to come up with hundreds of millions of variations of repeated rearrangements and duplications. And that variation is to rival the sheer variety of people found in proper human history. The difference is that the humans made here can't reproduce, and their lifespans are predetermined. I don't think their lifespan was intentional. There's probably only so much their cells can take. When I first got to Salisbury, I remember finding it odd that there weren't any elderly humans around. There were plenty of elderly fairies, sure, but no elderly humans. So, humans were merged with magical beasts in the first Lostbelt. Humans were kept as sheep in the second Lostbelt and culled when they got too old. In the third Lostbelt, humans were kept as an ignorant masses. In the fourth Lostbelt, humans were just bystanders to a never-ending cycle of destruction. In the fifth Lostbelt, humans had a dichotomy of either living to old age, hoping to rejoin the gods in futility while still worshipping them, or living in eternal stagnation. Whereas these humans are just, pumped out factory clones with predetermined lifespans. Oh boy. True, the real proof rests in the era that the original human was born. The heir of the High Queen, Morgan's reign began after the Tree of Emptiness died. When she took over Britain and became a lost world instead of a lost belt. A whole other chronicle of theoretical phenomena, by the way, basically. That means anything born in this era could survive in proper human history, too. But Fae-era Britain was a lost belt supported by the Tree of Emptiness, and subject to the pruning theoretical phenomenon. Anything born in a lost belt can't survive outside of it. Of course, if a being is able to cross the boundary to a higher level phenomenon, like being inscribed into the Throne of Heroes, that would let them survive in proper human history as well. But obviously that's not the kind of thing just anyone can do. This is just speculation on my part, but I guess this Britain didn't originally have humans. Now that they've been essentially created here, fairies and humans have switched roles. Here, fairies are real. Humans are the fantastical made-up creatures. That's why humans from Faerie Britain can't survive in reality-based proper human history. Whatever feelings you have about how humans are treated here are yours. You can want to change things, or you can want to give up, but you shouldn't impress your own morality upon them. Even if their lives seem like a fleeting illusion to the outsiders, they're still very real to them. As for their age limits, well, every life form's time has to come to an end someday. It's kind of sad that these people won't get more time, sure, but that's all it is. Sad. It's nothing you need to grieve over. The important thing is, in everyone's life, is where they're going to try to go, no matter how far they manage to get. And I don't mean literal physical distance, I mean a big picture reason to exist. The kind of ultimate destination point that says, this is the kind of species we were. Oh, I fully understand what she said. Hey now, why do you look like you're about to cry? It is kind of sad. Didn't I just say it's nothing to grieve over? Anyway, I'm more worried about the opposite situation. Humans from Faerie Britain may not be able to leave, but fairies could if they wanted to. Just like how Morgan said she was going to expand her territory. There could be fairies here who would want to come over into proper human history. And if one of them should be evil enough to be considered an evil of humanity, that is a good point. It could be what leads to the collapse. Right. Here, take another look at this mural. Remember what it was called, the Abyssal Worm. In general, legends like these that have passed down in Faerie Britain are prophecies made by the Mir clan. So there's a very good chance this mural is based on one of those very prophecies. One where the 6 clans gather around to worship an enormous beast in a land with no gods. I didn't say anything when we first found this mural because there were so many other people around. But look at these markings underneath it. The fairy here probably don't know what it says because it's not written in the fairy language. But these are probably hieroglyphics, which predate even the Hebrew writing system. I'm guessing they were either written here about 14,000 years ago during one of proper human history's ancient civilization eras, or someone used them deliberately and more recently to pass on a message that would only be understood in the future, and only by humans at that. So can you read it? Of course, they form a singular word. Cernunnos. It's the name of an ancient Celtic god, and proof that the gods did once exist in the land of Fae. Ancient Celtic god, huh? Cernunnos. And over to Camelot, so back with Morgan for the final part of section 14. Cernunnos. Cernunnos. Wikipedia article. Tamlin Lancelot. Lady Barghest need Tamlin Gawain. As of this moment, both have returned from their mission to the Welsh woods. Tamlin, make your reports to Her Majesty. Tell me all. I will only have the unabridged truth. Yes, High Queen. I cleansed the Forest of Wales as you commanded. During the mission, I fought the Child of Prophecy, the Foreign Mage, and the traitor Oberon. In doing so, I lost the name you gifted me, and I return now to simply as Barghest. This is hilarious, how the mighty Sir Gawain has fallen. You know, running back here with your tail between your legs is kind of charming, at least for a dog duchess. So this is the second time you've let the Child of Prophecy get away from you, you know? Nothing to say for yourself. Mother may be kind of understanding, but even she has her limits. We completed the mission you gave us, Your Majesty. The force is cleansed. Vargas stopped fighting simply because she no longer needed to. Tamlin Gawain suffered no defeat, unlike you, Tristan. Was that a shot at me, Lancelot? You're so lousy at it, I'm honestly not sure. And lose the freaking mask already. Why should I listen to you backtalking me if you don't even have the guts to show your face? Hey! I was only stating a fact. Well, Lady Lancelot just showed her face. She usually only does that during ceremonies. What an incredible stroke of good luck. Long silvery hair, those golden eyes that shine like crystals, she truly is one of a kind dragon fairy. Don't worry about me, Lancelot. This has nothing to do with you. I wasn't trying to help you. I just took it off because it was in the way. So what, you're on Team Loser too, Lancelot? I can't believe you didn't even try to defend yourself. Something happened to Lancelot. She's usually so unflappable. Your Majesty, I cannot deny that I was defeated. I've betrayed your trust in me and besmirched the name of all Tamlin. I'll accept whatever punishment you judge to be fitting. Indeed, it is unthinkable that a Tamlin should be defeated by the Child of Prophecy. You are therefore commanded to remain in your own lands and reflect on your failure. You have worked tirelessly to keep peace and order in Faerie Britain these past 2 centuries. Now is the time for you to rest. As the Black Dog Duchess is being relegated to Manchester, she's no longer going to be on the front line. Now's our chance to find the most promising upcoming knight in our ranks and have them bestowed with a Tamlin gifted name in her place. There's not another fairy in Britain who could possibly take Vargas' place. Still, are you sure it's a good idea to give her leave, Mother? Shouldn't be she out backing up Woodwoes? May I please say something, Your Majesty? I believe Vargas should atone for her sins on the battlefield. We've received reports that the rebel force in Londinium are continuing to grow in number. The Fang clan alone may not be enough to stop them. We should send Vargas out there and have them defeat the Child of Prophecy once and for all. You are, I assume, joking, yes? Do you truly believe mere humans capable of beating Woodwoes? But Lord Woodwoes is over 1,000 years old. Surely he can't still be in any shape to... Absurd. Ignorance truly would seem to be bliss. I've already sent reinforcements to Oxford. They should rendezvous with Woodwoes' forces tomorrow. Together they will be more than enough to raise Londinium. Vargas will not be needed there. I see. Now I understand, Your Majesty. An excellent decision, as always. Vargas, where's the Knight Portune? He still has yet to report to me. Did he somehow perish in battle? Portune hasn't returned. What would have happened to him after I last saw him? Knight Portune and I went our separate ways when the forest was cleansed. He did not tell me where he was going. I see. If you do not know where he is either, then he must have fallen to the foreign mage, or encountered a group of Moors. Regardless, the cessation of his reports must mean he has died. Fairies have declined so deplorably, even those who have survived the war against the Moors. Very well, leave me now, officers. I can stomach your incompetence no longer. Yes, High Queen, I'm sorry we couldn't be more useful. Your Majesty, wait. May I speak? So you are willing to risk your life to do so. You are still earnest to a fault, I see. Very well, I know what you have to say will be nonsense, but say it anyway. Thank you, High Queen. What I wish to say is, I cannot believe that the Foreign Mage truly means to destroy Britain. He worked with the Child of Prophecy to repel the calamity of Norwich. He accepted your invitation to Camelot, and he even went out of his way to try to protect the Welsh woods. Human or not, he is far more trustworthy than Nock, who only seeks to disturb Britain's peace. Vargas, the great calamity will be upon us soon. Surely we can use all the help we can get. If the Foreign Mage is not actually our enemy, his knowledge could be a powerful asset. Please, let me try to negotiate with proper human history. The Child of Prophecy may be a traitor, but the Foreign Mage could be an ally to the... No, I will hear no more of your nonsense, Vargas. Under no circumstances will I cooperate with proper human history, regardless of the perils we may face. As you fear, every fairy alive now will likely die in the Great Calamity. But so long as Britain remains intact and we with it, nothing else matters. Cold. Our Queen's resolve is incredible. Did she really say we were all gonna die? But Camelot will still be safe, right? Of course it will. Why would she want to rule Britain with no subjects? The High Queen is still a fairy at heart. Without us, there would be no point in protecting the land. You heard Mother Vargas. Get it through that boulder atop your shoulders, would you? I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Mother couldn't care less about the fairies. Looks like the look on those officers' faces was priceless. I can only imagine how much fun it'll be to see them panic when the show really begins. Is she serious? Then the High Queen truly has no intention of saving her subjects' lives. Uh-oh. That's traitorous thoughts there, Vargas. Gotcha. So that's the scoop with the High Queen's reinforcements. I have nothing more to say. I'll just keep an eye on things and play it out by ear. My next entree is Seoul. I don't care about the battle between Woodwose and their own table R. Whoa, you're kidding me. Pepperoncinos and Londinium too. Damn, that was close. I'd have blundered right into a minefield if you hadn't warned me. Thanks for telling me this. I owe you one. Don't worry, I'll keep my distance from Londinium. There'll be plenty of other chances in the future. Honey, I'm home. Ah, that was so good. You should have seen Bargus shaking in her boots. Who was Beryl talking to? And you'll never guess what awesomely horrible thing, Mother. Hey, was someone just here? Well, holy Spinel. Wasn't expecting you back so soon. Man, that infinity mirror Morgan's is something else. Well, it's practically magic. Proper human history sure never added a quick and easy method of transportation. And even if there was one, only a witch who's way behind on the times would be able to use it. That alone makes it worthy of respect. These fairies still have no idea what makes Morgan really scary. Deep down, they still dismiss her as an insolent upstart of a fairy who can't even make sacraments without using magecraft. If you ask me, it's the other way around. She's a scary, powerful fairy who supplements her already insane fairy powers with even crazier magecraft. She's got a teleportation spell that's practically a dimensional connector bite, making a base mirror with a bunch of sub-mirrors. She's got 12 lances that shine to the end of the world all around Camelot's main gate. She's got a huge tower-bounded field covering all of Britain. She's got the garden where she sealed Merlin. And on top of all that, she could even perform raid shifts without coffins. Not even Chaldea could pull that off. And I would have guessed she's been whisking calamities off to ancient times to contain their damage in the past. Seriously, she's got this completely covered. Having Tamlin around on top of all that is just overkill. Right, I knew you'd understand, Beryl. Seriously, why does she keep 3 Tamlin around when she could easily make do with just me? Keep telling her I'd be the only special one. I'm her one and only daughter, after all. But she hardly ever talks to me. Oh, don't worry about it. Morgan's just bashful, that's all. You've turned out to be exactly the sort of delicate princess she'd hoped to raise. You can tell she cares about you, right? Why do you think she lets her hang around one of the Infinity Mirror's sub-mirrors? It's so she can always call you back to her at a moment's notice, no matter where you are or what you might be happening. If that isn't dotting on you, I don't know what is. It's way more love than any parent shows their kid in proper human history. Really, so Mother does love me. I am really fit to be your daughter? Of course, from where I stand, it's disgustingly obvious, but she cares. She just wants you to be free. Who cares what those dumb fairies say about you? You should cut loose and do whatever you feel like, princess. Of course I will. There's nothing I love more than hearing fairies scream in pain. I only came to see Woodwose's battlefield to see a mountain of their corpses piled high. I just wish my noble phantasm could target more than one fairy at a time. I do envy that about Bargus. Maybe I should ask Mother to give hers to me. Alright, going can't use it anymore, huh? I guess I should be more concerned with the Child of Prophecy. It's hard to believe she actually beat Bargus. Is the Master of Chaldea really strong enough to defeat a Tamlin? Good question. Now that he's made it this far, I guess I owe him a fair shake. Whatever his skills are as a mage, he's got to be one of those best masters out there. Really, when you think about it, he's got an absolute shit ton of experience. You don't beat Kirstari Woodamade by accident. The fact he pulled that off has got to mean he's a better master than me. And to be that good of a master, he must have some serious bonds with his servants. On the battlefield, masters and servants fight like they're one mind and one body. It was the strength of those bonds that let him defeat Bargus. One mind and one body, so they never deceive each other, or betray one another. You're a master too, right, Beryl? Do you have a servant of your own? Who knows, maybe I still haven't formed a contract yet. What, seriously? Come on, Red Beryl, I know you'd like slacking off, but this is ridiculous. Still, this must be fate. It's totally fate. Hey, Beryl, do you think I could be your servant? Do you think I could find the partner of my dreams, even though I'm just a fairy everyone hates? Sure, I bet a fairy that could become a servant. Maybe I'll even form a contract with you myself, if I feel like it, princess. But right now, I want to talk more about tomorrow's deathmatch. Now that I've got nothing to do in Londinium, I've got some extra time on my hands. So I could use your help laying the groundwork for what comes next. Oh boy, Beryl's plotting. He's at least acknowledging us. But that is section 14 completed. 1 quartz, 2 bells, 2 prisms, and 2 Hellfires of Wisdom. Next is section 15 being available. It's a long one, but I do have enough time, so I think I will do it in stream. But for those watching this on YouTube, this is going to be the end of part 14 of this Lostbelt. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to drop it a like to show your support, or subscribe if you really want to catch more content by me. The next part should be out tomorrow. Still haven't decided if this is going to be weekly, like weekday only weekly, or 7 days a week. Though I'm guessing you know at this point. Once again, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed on YouTube. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.